Hi, and welcome to Marketing Optimization with Alex Designs. I'm your host, Alex Harris, and today I'm bringing on Ryan Spanger, all the way from Australia. How you doing, Ryan?
Hey, Alex, good. It's great to be here.
Excellent. Ryan is the founder of dreamengine.com.au. It's a video production company out of Melbourne, Australia. And we're going to be talking all about how to use video to increase your conversions and generate leads. To get started, to break this down, I want to talk specifically about the quality of the videos that you create, the content, and then really how to convert that into leads or sales. Really, what are your best tips to create great videos as far as quality?
Okay, so, when it comes to quality, I'm in a lucky, fortunate situation where I've been making videos for nearly 20 years now, and I've been working in the video production industry for 15 years. And so I've got a bit of a head start, and I have, managed to, through trial and error, work out how to make high quality videos. And one of the things that I notice is that people make a lot of simple, common mistakes. So the things that I want to mention now, some of them might seem quite obvious, but when I go to YouTube and I watch videos, it's just amazing how many of these, it's low-hanging fruit. It's stuff that can be fixed so easily, but people aren't doing it. So I want to run through these, and I think if you can get these right, you're going to be 90% of the way there already. So the first thing to think about is sound, and people often fixate too much on the picture, on the video side of things, rather than sound. But sound is actually more important than video, because if people can hear you clearly, as long as your content is good, they're going to keep on listening, even if the picture quality is not fantastic. So the first thing to focus on is getting your sound right. And the key with that is to use an external microphone, like the microphone that I'm using here, or a lavalier or lapel microphone that you clip to your shirt. But the key is to use an external microphone and get it as close to your mouth as possible, and set your recording levels correctly so it's not too loud or too soft. So often people will use the built-in microphone on the camera or on the computer, and generally they're really low quality. They're going to pick up all the noise from the room, the air conditioner or people moving around, and it's really going to diminish the sound quality. So that's the first tip, is to think about sound. Once you've got that right, lighting is really important in video. So think about where your light source is. I'm sitting at the computer and there's a window in front of me, and I'm using just the natural light that's coming through the window, which is giving us reasonable quality video. When people are filming themselves, often they'll use the auto setting on their camera, and that is taking a general reading of the whole frame. And so if the camera doesn't have it can't distinguish between, what's going to look good. All it's doing is taking a general picture of the light source around you and setting an average exposure. So if there's a lot of light behind you, it's going to darken the picture, and vice versa. So you need to either use the natural light around you or use lights. And if you're using film lights, the key is to use soft lights. Sometimes I see on YouTube people talking about using, work lights or lamps or something like that. And if you are using video and it's part of your strategy, it's important to invest a little bit of money, and you can get some pretty decent soft lights for, $100 or $200, which is not a substantial investment. So we've gone through sound. We've gone through some basic lighting, and the third thing is framing, because what people often do is frame their face in the middle of the picture. So you'll often see a picture like that, or like that, and there's all this room up at the top, and psychologically when people are watching that, it immediately diminishes my authority. Why am I sort of low down here in the frame? And when we frame it up properly, suddenly it actually just feels okay. It feels psychologically all right. And the way that we work out framing is what's called the rule of thirds. So if you were to draw a line at the top third of this frame and the bottom third of this frame, generally the line at the top third of the frame should intersect with your eyes. And this is almost like the way, humans are almost hardwired this way, for this to just seem aesthetically okay. So if you follow those basic rules of sound, lighting, and framing, you're three-quarters of the way there already. So that's a good basic introduction to getting decent quality video.
Yeah, well, I had the opportunity to see your videos online, and they're very professional, and that's why I wanted to bring you on, because obviously, me doing video now, I really want to try to continue to always step up my game, but also teach the audience about how to really use video in the right way, because these little things do make a big difference, and it does come a lot down to trial and error. But I have two follow-up questions. In particular, when you're doing your own videos, do you have any recommendations when using a lavalier mic? I can never really get it, underneath my shirt the right way. And if it does, sometimes it creates some static or floor noise. Do you have some recommendations for that?
Okay, so if you're using the lavalier mic or the lapel mic that you're clipping onto your shirt, there are sound recordists who have worked out great techniques to hide them. And the trick is to be able to hide it under your shirt, but when people move naturally when they're talking, the risk is that it can actually rub against your shirt and just create a lot of noise. Right. So sound recordists have techniques where they use tape and they create a bit of a loop in the tape and they put the microphone between that loop. I have found through experience that the risk is that it's not going to work unless it's something that you know pretty well. So my approach with that is actually, I don't feel like you really need to hide that little microphone. Mm-hmm. I think that people are used to seeing that on TV. It's quite common in reality TV. It's not that distracting, and I would rather actually just see the little lapel mic on your shirt rather than try to hide it and risk having that noise. That being said, what does look unprofessional is if you have the little lapel and then you can see the wire, the cable hanging down. So on the lapel microphone, there's a little clip, and then where the clip is, you want to run that cable underneath your shirt. So that's obscured. So my personal opinion is, don't worry about hiding it. It's going to be more trouble than it's worth. But what I would say is that if you're filming in a controlled environment like a studio or your office, what I do is place a shotgun microphone, which is a microphone kind of like this one, on a stand just above my head over there, pointing down. And the advantage of doing that is that it's a higher quality recording and you're not seeing the microphone as well, and you have more freedom to move around. So if you're filming yourself with the lavalier microphone and it's hidden underneath your shirt, each time you get up, it's sort of a bit of a hassle, and particularly if you're filming other people, it can be a bit of an awkward moment getting them to put it down their shirt. So I can describe that microphone setup a little bit more, if you like, with a shotgun microphone.
Yeah, because I see that's how you set up your videos on YouTube as well.
Yeah, so this is the best way to do it because you're going to get the best quality. So you can use a microphone stand or a light stand, and you put your microphone on what's called a pistol grip, which looks like a gun, and that goes onto a boom, which is basically a stick, and that boom connects to your stand. So, I can even show you here. I have a microphone here on a stand. What I would do is add a boom or a stick to that microphone and point it down here directly at my mouth. And right. That's why the sound quality of my videos is really good, because I'm using a good quality microphone that's just out of shot above my head.
Now, that's an XLR cable, and you are using an external recorder, or is that going straight into the camera?
So that's going straight into the camera, but I'm using a video camera. So it's pretty common for people to use DSLR cameras these days, like a Canon 5D or a 60D. Mm-hmm. And you're going to need another adapter to run that straight to the camera. When I do use a DSLR, I record to a separate audio recorder and then sync it up in the editing. But I use a Sony FS100, which gives you that DSLR sort of look, but it can record professional quality audio as well and run that straight into the camera.
Some really great tips right there. Let's move into like the content of your videos. Really, my audience is all marketers who really are focused on conversions and e-commerce or lead generation. What would be your best tips to use video in those circumstances?
I would say the first thing is use video, and that sounds pretty obvious, but it's amazing how many websites you still go to these days where people aren't using video. So the next statement I'm going to make is going to sound equally obvious, and that is to make good quality video. Because again, there's a lot of really average looking video out there, and sometimes people can fixate more on the idea of we need to get a video up there than actually thinking about strategically creating good quality content in a professional way. And I think there are times when actually video can actually be counterproductive if the quality isn't good. So if we go through step by step, the first step is to have a strategy and really think about your audience, think about what their challenge is, how you can solve their problem, and how you can actually use video to do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I think when you're using video, getting the perspective of your customers or those testimonials, it almost speaks more about your company than you can yourself. Are you guys doing testimonial videos for your clients?
We create a lot of customer profile or testimonial videos. In fact, at the moment, we're traveling around Australia for one of our clients, filming these customer profile videos, and they are incredibly powerful. And it's amazing how many businesses aren't actually using these, because every business that does good quality work has a group of raving fans or enthusiasts who would love nothing more than the opportunity to shout from the rooftops how good your work is. And this is marketing collateral that is available to you that people aren't actually using. So the first step is to actually capture these stories, and I follow a case study sort of model of background, challenge, how you solve that challenge, and then importantly what the actual effect is. So we're using those for our clients, but we use a lot of these in our business as well. So if you head over to my website, dreamengine.com.au, you can see a lot of case study examples. And where I find these really useful is in the sales context, in follow-up. So in my business, we do a lot of quoting. So once we have a discussion with clients, we prepare a quote for them and send it to them, then what's the next step? Often salespeople will follow up with something like, what did you think of the quote? Did you have any questions? Or just wondering have you made a decision yet? Quite annoying things. I know when I'm in the sales process buying something, that's not actually delivering value to me. Sure. So if you can create video which is actually useful and valuable, hey, here's a case study video of someone who's in a similar situation to you, and these are the steps that they took to solve their challenge. That's far more valuable. So case study videos, if you're not using them, there's a great opportunity there.
Yeah, well, you hit on some really great points there, because I actually do this myself as a web designer. People don't know who I am. They don't know if I'm gonna, if I'm some dude who's gonna steal their money or not. And by me creating some videos that show my credibility and my authority, it builds a lot of trust, and it kind of closes those gaps to make people feel comfortable about literally giving me money.
That's exactly how it works, because people, they want to invest, they want to spend money, they want to find someone who can help them solve their problem. But how do they know who you are or what your track record is, or who you've helped? We can make whatever assertions we want. I have the best video production company in Australia. I can say whatever I want, but I'm going to come across as quite biased. But if you watch a case study video and you see someone in your industry, someone that you relate to, maybe someone or a company with a high profile, that's going to really help to diminish that risk and build trust.
One of the tips that I saw on your YouTube specifically about increasing conversions was about rich snippets. And that's something I wasn't really familiar with. Can you explain what rich snippets are?
Yeah, this is basically becoming more common. When you do a Google search, you can see not only the text that appears, but sometimes on the left-hand side you'll see a box, and most commonly you'll see someone's Google Plus ID. So that's, I guess, a form of rich snippet where Google's not only delivering search results, but they're delivering some additional information. So the way that we can use rich snippets is to stand out in a Google search and draw people's eye across to your search result. The way that I mainly use it in my business is through a video thumbnail. And you'll see that already when you do a Google search and it comes up with a YouTube result. There's a little video thumbnail, so the searcher is immediately going, oh, okay, cool, there's a video, and you can see the length of the video as well. So immediately it's more enticing. We use a video hosting platform called Wistia, and you can set up Wistia to do that for you. And I'm not sure what they do or how they do it, but it ranks really well. So it doesn't happen automatically through your Wistia videos. You actually have to set that up with a video sitemap. But once you've got that set up, a lot of our Wistia embedded videos on our websites are now appearing with little thumbnails on the left-hand side. And I know for me, when I do a search, my eye is just naturally drawn to that. And I believe it's going to make it more likely for people to actually click on your link if you can give them more information, if you have a cool thumbnail and people can see the length of the video.
Yeah, Wistia has really become pretty popular in the last year or so. They're doing some really good things. And that kind of leads me to my next question. Lead generation. And, this content that we create with all the videos, it's all fun and games to play, but we really want to use it to our advantage and, benefit from it. So what type of videos do you create to generate leads, or techniques do you use in your videos to really create lead campaigns?
Okay, well, I guess it's all about creating interesting, useful information that helps build a relationship with people. So it's the long game. It's creating videos that position you as an authority, that help to solve people's challenges and aren't just about sales. So it's like any relationship, or like meeting someone and engaging in a conversation. The first time that someone sees your video, they might just notice you, or this guy's got something interesting to say, or it might solve a challenge. So it's interesting, when we were speaking before the call, you mentioned that you were doing a YouTube search on Robert Cialdini. I happen to have made a video about his book. You watched the video and you enjoyed it, and you kept up with the other videos, and now we're doing an interview together, and who knows, that's the start of a relationship, and that's happened through putting useful, interesting content out there. So in some ways, I think you need to create this content without specifically thinking, what am I going to get back? And the biggest challenge I found for people, and the biggest challenge for me, was in my content creation campaign, spending probably the first 6 months putting content out into a void, and getting very little reaction back, and at times saying to myself, why am I doing this? What return am I getting? Is this just, an indulgence? And then you start to develop some momentum, and people start to comment on your videos, and opportunities start to arise, whether it's through public speaking, or speaking on other people's podcasts. And before long, well, in my case, it was probably about 9 months, I could say, yes, I can actually quantify that I'm getting a return here. So it is a long-term commitment.
Well, that's for sure, because since I've started creating these videos, when I go to a meetup or a conference, like, pretty much the first thing that people say, if they haven't met me before, wow, Alex, I've seen your videos. So it immediately just creates a relationship with potential offline relationships as well. So in the videos that you create, do you have any tips to really insert those call to actions to get people to either sign up for your list or visit your website?
Okay, so some of the things I would say about call to action is Wistia is a great platform for call to actions, because it has a built-in call to action. So at the end of your video, you can have some text appear with your call to action, and this is actually clickable. So at the end of the video, you can, to find out more, contact us, and if they click, they'll go to the contact page. So that's already a good start. A single call to action, I think, is important. Sometimes people try to cover too much. If you want this, then do. Sometimes we watch a YouTube video and people will say, please subscribe to my channel if you want more videos like this. Oh, by the way, you can download a free PDF, and if you want to check out my website, and it becomes a little bit too confusing and unfocused. So I think that single focused call to action is important. The other thing that's really important is that your call to action is appearing in the right place. So, and this is where video analytics comes in, and we can speak more about this, but if you are actually tracking your video analytics, then you can track the engagement of your video, and you may find that 3/4 of your audience is dropping off before they get to the end of the video, which means they're not being exposed to your call to action. So at that stage, you can decide, what do we need to do to improve this video?
Yeah.
Do we need to bring the call to action sooner? Do we need to shorten the video? So people often think that the call to action needs to appear only at the very end of the video, but if you have a longer video, you can actually have multiple calls to action throughout the video. So you're capturing people earlier on and giving them an opportunity to do something, or in the middle, or at the end of the video.
Well, that is my next question related to analytics. Because I know Wistia and even YouTube, you can tell how long that people are watching and then really optimize that experience for sure. Give us some insight into analytics in general. And also a follow-up question, have you used any lead nurturing campaigns where if they don't watch the video all the way with Wistia, I know that they could do some stuff like that. Have you tried any tools to use that?
Okay, so talking about video analytics first, the most important thing to track is engagement. That's the most important thing, is that you want to know that people are watching your video, and ideally they're watching the video right until the end, so they're getting the full message, and the right people are watching your video. So YouTube gives you a whole lot of analytics of geographical location and age, but importantly a timeline showing you the percentage of people that are staying engaged with your video. So that's really the key. I really like the Wistia analytics because they give you a little bit more information. And something that I find quite interesting is that you can track how many times people have watched your video and what parts of the video they're watching again. And that can give you little clues by going in and having a look at those sections of the video. Usually it's either something that people don't understand that they need to watch again, or it's some information that's really important. That can give you clues about what your audience is thinking and what's important to them, and it can help you tailor future videos. So tracking engagement is really important. What is even more important than that for me is tracking the behavior of individual viewers. So if you're using an online CRM like Infusionsoft, then you can, if someone watches one of your videos that you send out through an email campaign, you can tag that user. And you then know what videos they've watched and their engagement and how many times they've watched videos, and once you have that information on an individual level, that can give you really important information about follow-ups. So incredibly valuable for your sales team to know that an individual user has watched 50 of your videos. Every time you make a news video, they watch the video from start to end, as opposed to someone who has never engaged with your video. So think about it this way. If you have a follow-up campaign for a sales team, and you send out a quote, and you send a video every 2 days, and they've watched 3 of those videos, it's a prime opportunity to contact that person, see if they have any questions, and see if they'd like to make the investment. On the other hand, you can track whether people are not watching your videos at all, and you can tailor a different follow-up sequence based on that. So that's just where video analytics is just so incredibly powerful and vital.
Well, if you want to check out Ryan's videos, because he goes into detail on short videos on each of these different areas, so you definitely want to check out his YouTube channel. Let's close by telling people how they can find out more about your videos and what you guys offer for video production.
Okay, well, if you'd like to see some examples of the work that we do, head over to dreamengine.com.au. And if you go to dreamengine.com.au /resources, there are many, many videos there that are just helpful resources on how to film high quality videos, how to set up your YouTube channel, how to use video SEO, and just a whole lot of information, really just my best information that I've used, that I've applied to our videos. We do a lot of work for corporates, we do TV commercials, so you can head over to our website and see a whole range of the work that we do.
Perfect. Thank you, Ryan.
Thanks, Alex. Great to talk to you.
Thank you for watching the Marketing Optimization Podcast with Alex Designs. Please remember to subscribe to all of the videos in my YouTube channel. Thank you.